there, welcome to the channel, or welcome back. I'm Angela, and today I have a little bit of a garden update to share with you guys, and I mean little. There hasn't been too much going on this past week, but I do also have 2 tips to share with you guys on how to give your pepper seedlings a really good start before they go into the ground. If that sounds interesting, stay tuned. So let's head over here to the garden for a minute. I just want to kind of show you what I've been working on. And I am finally getting my onion seedlings into this bed here. I feel like they should have gone in a little while back. As I'm recording this, it's Sunday, April 21st. So I think they could have gone in a lot sooner, but just due to weather and things like that, I haven't really had a great chance to do it until a couple of days ago. I started on it. I've got a bunch of different kinds of onions. I usually do my 2 favorite standbys, which are Walla Walla and Ailsa Craig. And this year I'm also doing a couple of different kinds of yellow onions and red onions. So I'm kind of thinking they may not all fit in here, in which case I'm going to have to figure out how to divvy up the space because there's so much more to go in this season. We are just getting started. I did notice this growing in this raised bed here. I'm pretty sure this is some type of ragwort, in which case it may be not the best to handle that with bare hands. So I'm gonna have to grab my gloves and get out here and pull that up by the roots. I don't know if it's like how toxic it is, but the little bit of looking up I've done, they can be a little bit toxic to the skin. And you can see the dandelions have taken over here. So this area is next slated for mulching over. I kind of have been leaving it because the bees are really having fun here and I want them to continue on. But I'm still working on cardboarding and mulch, and I'm just doing this in small batches. Every time I'm out and about heading past the home improvement store, the garden center, I'll stop by and grab 4 or 5 bags of mulch. And I'm kind of at a stopping point now because once again I'm out of cardboard. So yeah, it'll get there eventually. That's about all that I've done. Sorry for that crunching, but you can see like all of this is going to get mulched over eventually as I get the supplies. And I feel like my potatoes, which are in these grow bags there, all through here and in there, those 4 bags, and in these 3 bags here, are kind of getting a slow start. I feel like they should have already sprouted up, and I'm not seeing much signs of activity. So like that, I think that's a weed. Yeah, that's just a weed. So I don't know whether, like, at what point do I give up on this. I planted so many, and if they don't make it, I am going to be so disappointed. That might be something going on there. It's a little, oh, wait, here we go. This is it. Those are potato leaves right there. Yay. And probably that too. I could tell because of the shape of the leaves, and they're a little bit thicker and the growth pattern. So that's a good sign. I did plant 7 different varieties of potatoes. And last year I grew potatoes in these same bags with nothing but just leaves, so very little soil, maybe some at the bottom, just to see how it would work out. And it worked out just fine. They grew, let's see, in soil here, maybe some of these bags were mostly leaves, but there were no issues. They grew and flourished. So that was kind of interesting. All right, so now I know that all is not lost. And I wanted to show you guys our hops plants. I had been trying to keep these to just 1/4 of this bed, like the back side of this trellis here, and just like this left hand half, so just this 1/4 back here. It's clear that they really want to take over the whole bed, so I'm just going to let them. And it is hard for me to give up that space, but I do love the way these hops plants look, and I love the way they look growing up on the trellis. So I'm just going to give it to them just for, you know, some beauty and interest in the garden. And one thing I'm planning to do once I get these 2 beds rotated is to build another trellis like this and put it in whichever bed is like further back, closest to the house. So, you know, I'll eventually get another trellis to put up, but for now, like, there's no stopping these. They are clearly taking over. Look at that. It's even growing up around this little random stake I have stuck in the bed there. And it's kind of hit or miss on whether we actually use the hops for anything. My husband is a home brewer, but he's kind of gotten out of that in recent years. So sometimes the hops don't even get used. I may harvest them and take them into work in case anyone there's a home brewer. Have a feeling that someone is, at least. Otherwise, they're just there for the looks. And I'm going to show you guys my seedlings, other than, you know, the rest of the onion seedlings there, and talk to you a little bit about a couple of things I started doing a few years ago that have made a really big difference in my pepper seedlings. So by the time they're ready to go in the ground, which here in my zone, I'm in zone 6, I usually wait till mid-May for peppers, just because you know, they like it so hot. And I don't want to risk stunting their growth. I have done that at least once before. So I wait till it's consistently nice and hot before the peppers go out for the season. So my seedlings are still kind of hanging out back here in the laundry room on days when they cannot go outside. And I've got so many. I'm getting a little overrun, but this is it. All of these on the ground here are tomatoes, and the first 2 levels of this setup here are peppers, and then random flowers, herbs, things like that. And then I also have some random things here, some mint, flowers, you know, things like that. So today is really cold. It's in the 40s Fahrenheit, so they are all staying in here, which is too bad because that means these will not get much light. But let's look at these peppers for a minute. And what I wanted to share with you guys, so the first tip is, after I transplant the seedlings into a larger container, which is what has already been done, once they get a few sets of leaves on them, I go ahead and just clip the top set of leaves off. So it's kind of, it seems counterintuitive because they're so small and you hate to just start chopping into them, but I have found that it really helps grow sturdier, fuller pepper plants. So most of these are too small yet to do that. I have done that to a couple of them. So you know, once they get those few sets of leaves, I'll take off the very top of it. So right there is, I don't know if you guys can see right there, you can tell, hopefully you can tell where I've clipped the top off of that. And then that one back there next to it, those had advanced growth already, so that's why they got the little topping done. And the other thing I do, not just with my peppers, but with all of my seedlings, so you know probably that the seedlings do need a hardening off period before they go outside for good. And I always used to do that. About 2 weeks before they were going out for good, I would start setting them out first in the shade for a couple hours and building up to full sun exposure, taking them back in every night. But one thing I started doing probably 2-3 years ago now was, no matter what time of the year it is, if it's like we're 2 months away, say, from going outside for good, if the temperatures are in the high 50s or even low 60s, high 50s, I go ahead and put them outside all day, whether it's cloudy, sunny. So by the time that they do go out in early to mid-May, they are really ready. And I found that that has made a big difference. I mean, nothing can really replace the sunlight, not even these nice grow lights that I have. The sun is like the best. So I found that that really helps. Maybe you could experiment if you're not already doing it. Give it a try, cautiously, judiciously at first. But I've really found that doing the topping off with the peppers and putting all the seedlings out during the day, no matter how early in the year it is, as long as the temperatures are okay, really makes a difference. I hope that you found this interesting. I know it wasn't much of an update. It's going to start ramping up here soon, and of course I'll be sharing with you guys everything that's going on here in the garden. So I hope that you'll tune back in next time. Have a great week ahead. Bye.